Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of November 8th to the 14th of 2021. All right, so this week we are entering into the first quarter phase of the lunar cycle. We had the new moon last Thursday, and so since late last week, if there has been any new perspectives you've had, anything you wanted to implement into your life, it could be an excellent week to start to challenge ourselves to implement that. And this is particularly the case around Tuesday, Wednesday, when we do enter that first quarter phase. But Mercury, the planet of our minds and communication, will be conjoining up to fiery and assertive Mars. So there's an opening here this week for a bit of that fire energy behind the mental and communicative aspects of things. But this conjunction is going to be squaring up to more restrictive Saturn. So thinking long term, being patient, responsible is excellent, and anything productive or that does require discipline could be a great way of channeling that energy around Tuesday and Wednesday. Then once we get to Friday, the sun starts to trine Neptune. It could be easy to be a bit receptive, go with the flow a little bit, compassionate, maybe intuitive or imaginative as well. And Saturday, Mercury will enter into Libra, adding to this Libra energy. So this whole lunar cycle did start here. And so it is a lunar month around creating balance in our life, and Mercury is going to be adding to that. Also maybe adding the emphasis of relating in a way that's balanced and reciprocating, which is always important with Libra anyways. And Saturday, Mercury will be opposite up to Uranus, so maybe having some different experiences in the routine in a balanced way, maybe learning new things, mentally stimulating ourselves, and maybe communicatively as well. Just getting outside that comfort zone can be great with that balance. All right, so let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here's the sky for this week. We're going to look at this first for Monday, November 8th. And go through each of the days of the week here. And as you can see, we are using the visible sky on this channel, which is very different from mainstream astrology. In mainstream, they use an even 30 degrees for all of the constellations. But as you can see in the visible sky, they are different sizes. So we are taking that into account. And so the signs will change. And so if you are new to the channel, definitely check out that link down below for more information. All right, so let's go ahead and do a bit of a recap. We did just have that new moon last Thursday, and so it has been the beginning of this new lunar cycle coming into this week. It is great to build some momentum and continue to set some intentions or really start to take some action and implementation of any new perspective shifts we had since late last week or anything we've been starting to develop. But it is a bit early coming into the week, so still allowing for some experimentation, trying new things. But especially once we get into midweek, Wednesday, Thursday time period, we will enter into the action phase of the cycle, which is great for challenging ourselves, and sometimes where we do come to our first challenges of the cycle. But again, challenging ourselves is really a great way of working with that. And this is all about Libra, the scales. The new moon was right in between Virgo and Libra, but the sun now officially here, really helping us see how we can bring in more balance in our life. So of course, if there's any areas out of balance, it's a great time of bringing that back into balance. It's a great time of seeing that, we do view life in duality, but there's always a middle path or a third path, right? And these tend to be the most healthful, most beneficial, most fulfilling paths. So seeing how we can take the balanced approach, incorporate more balance, and in our relationship life as well, having that reciprocity and mutuality. What is actually good for us is good for others, and what is actually good for others is good for us. This kind of perspective that we can see that whatever seems like an opposite is really two sides of the same coin with Libra, the scales. All right, so great for this kind of stuff. Justice, morality, ethics, doing the right thing, both personally and interpersonally, is fantastic at this time. We still do have a lot of energy finishing Virgo, so improvement and refinement has been the major theme for the past months, and that's always great to continue here. Nothing new here, but anything around improvement is still great to continue to develop. All right, so as we enter into the week, the moon will be in Sagittarius for Monday and Tuesday. And this is a bit of an expansive energy, maybe feeling a bit open-minded or free-spirited. It's usually a bit of a transformation. So coming out of the Sunday time, maybe there was some healing or some empowerment we came to embody that now leaves us coming into the week feeling a bit open-minded and free-spirited. So Monday, Tuesday, great for expanding those mental and literal horizons. Nothing major, just a monthly theme. Monthly thing that happens every month that's happening these couple days around getting into some of that free-spirited, open-minded, and adventurous, mentally and literally type of energy. And then once we do get to the Wednesday time, this is when we start to enter into that first quarter phase of the lunar cycle, and we really start to get into some of this Saturn Capricorn energy. So Wednesday and Thursday could be a great couple days for, again, patience, responsibility, perseverance, just being consistent, right, and thinking long term. And this is, of course, particularly the case because Mercury and Mars will be conjoining, and that conjunction will be squaring up to Saturn. So first of all, as we do get into the later part of Tuesday into Wednesday, we may notice a bit of a fire behind our mental and communicative sides. Mercury is the planet of mind and communication. Mars is that fire, very initiating, direct, very independent. And so anything that does involve this, I think, is great. Again, constructively, Mars can be a bit of a wild card. So it is good to, of course, implement this stuff constructively. And I think that's really what Saturn is helping us do here with this square. So thinking long term, thinking patiently, thinking through discipline, is a great way of working with this and really channeling this energy into anything that we know will take time or will require some perseverance, right? Or some patience or some discipline or some responsibility can actually make this an extremely constructive transit. And I do feel like this transit is going to be easier than most squares because this is the third quarter square. So Mercury and Mars have already squared Saturn during their cycles. We are finishing the Mercury-Mars cycle with Saturn as they approach Saturn. So usually this one's easier to work with, and we're usually more willing to do that. So anything around the Wednesday time that is productive or will require some discipline on your part, either mentally, communicatively, or action-orientedly, is fantastic around this time and can be very constructive. All right, and then once we do get into the Thursday time period, the moon will start to shift into Aquarius. So Thursday, Friday, we'll slowly start to ease up off of that first quarter square between the sun and moon. And these couple days, Thursday, Friday, could be good for getting a bit of that progressive energy with Aquarius, being a bit of a visionary, thinking, in a very innovative way, and starting to challenge the status quo. Sorry, this will be actually late Thursday, and it'll be all day Friday and all day Saturday. So mainly Friday and Saturday, okay, with the Aquarius energy. So going into the weekend, being a visionary, thinking about the future stuff, and sometimes even collective matters, joining up with friends or community, this kind of thing, Friday and Saturday can also be fantastic. And we do notice, again, a little bit of support as well with the aspects going into the weekend. So on Friday, the sun will start to trine up to Neptune, which is feeling a little bit of support with the more receptive side of ourselves. So it could be a bit easy to go with the flow, maybe a bit open to compassion and giving and doing things that are more soul-fulfilling or soul-satisfying in our life, personally or interpersonally. And intuition, imagination, spirituality, the unconscious, all this can be heightened. And so it makes it very good for anything creative, anything intuitive, anything spiritual as well around that time. But it's mainly support to go with the flow and bring in some of that receptivity in our personal lives. And so again, Saturday, a bit of that visionary energy with Aquarius. And this is double confirmed by Mercury then opposing up to Uranus. And so our minds are getting a dose of this innovation, vision. And so it is good to find some constructive ways of implementing that. Maybe learning some new things, studying some things we normally wouldn't, thinking about things in ways we normally wouldn't, and just having a bit of freedom and spontaneity and experimentation with the mind. So great for learning, studying new things, communicating in new and different ways, maybe just mixing up the routine a little bit, but in a way that's of course balanced, as all oppositions do call us to balance that energy there. All right, and then as we do get into the Sunday time period, the moon will start to shift into Pisces. So just mainly around Sunday, good for a bit of that. Again, receptivity, maybe a little bit of working a little more, taking a step back, creating some space, maybe connecting to our soul, maybe getting some sleep or intuitive time. This will start to enter into the heightened phase of the cycle. So yeah, there is definitely energy with this moon in Pisces, but Pisces does remind us to turn inward, to connect to our soul, and kind of have that more receptive guidance and receptive flow in life. So that could be very good. Anything on that level around Sunday. And very late Sunday going into next week, Venus will square Chiron. If there is anything interpersonal, relationship-wise, that you feel like could be healing or therapeutic, that could be great maybe Sunday night going into Monday to do, but nothing major, just something that's available or can be very constructive if we implement. All right, everyone, so that is the week in a nutshell. Put simply, first quarter phase of the cycle, starting to implement action, challenging ourselves from anything late last week, either perspective or literal. This is coinciding with some squares with Mercury and Mars square Saturn. So anything that requires that patience or discipline is, again, fantastic around the Wednesday time. As we start to get to the later part of the week, we'll enter into more of the coming out of the square energy, although it'll still be quite strong. So still challenging ourselves nonetheless. But a little bit of support with a trine up to Neptune, going with the flow a little bit, a little receptive. And using a bit of spontaneous mind and communications can also be great as well. All right, so everyone, have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're not yet signed up for MTZ Insiders, it is a newsletter where you do get these weekly videos released first. So do check that out. It's absolutely free. And have a great one, everyone. See you all next week for the next astrology forecast. Take care.